In this video, we are going to be talking about the ablative case. And the ablative case, the uses. Why would a word ever be in the ablative case? For example, over here, we have the nominative. Why would a word ever be in the nominative case? Well, its uses are subject or complement. Why would a word ever be in the genitive case? Well, because it would be showing possession. That's a use. Or part of a whole. That's a use. Why would a word ever be in the accusative case? Because it is the direct object. And so therefore there are uses. Now, I refer to the ablative, and by the way, we are going to be embedding within this three writing utensils that you will have to know and earn a free 100 for it. So, I call it the adverbial case because the ablative is a case that a noun is going to be in to tell you something about the action. It might tell you the ablative word when the action occurs, at the second hour. It might tell you where the action occurs, in the country house. It might tell you with whom the action occurs, with the dogs, cum canibus. But it will be the adverbial case telling us about the action. Now, there are lots of uses for the ablative case, and every one of these ablatives is essentially going to be answering a question about that action. So let's go through them now. The first use of the ablative case is what we are going to call the ablative of place where. And thus it is going to be an ablative word that is telling us where an action occurs. And so the question that place where is going to be answering is the question ubi. So where does an action occur? Ubi. The ablative word will tell you. And in the next video, I'm going to be giving you examples of creating sentences with all of these ablative uses in them so that you can see. But we're going to keep this short. The second one, which I'm actually going to call the 1A, is that it can also answer the place from where an action occurs. Now, the Latin word, and you're going to need to know these question words, the Latin word that indicates the question from where is the word unde. So this, from where did you come here? You would use the ablative to indicate from where. So I came here from the country house. It would be a or ab. So very often these usages of the ablative will have a preposition. And you would then obviously a or ab have as its object the ablative a wila with a long a. So unde, from where? The other way that you could translate unde is whence. This spelled like this. Whence. And so the word whence is in English that means from where. So if you come in my room, I say, whence do you come here? Do not say, well, just right now. No, whence means from where. And that is what unde asks, and the ablative word will answer. The second use of the ablative is the ablative of time when. Time when. So words in the ablative case can tell you when an action occurs. Now, the Latin word that asks that question is the word quando. So you ask, when will we leave to go to the city? Secunda ora, in the ablative. By, with, because of, from, in, on, at. The second hour. It is telling you when an action can occur. 2a, it can also tell you the time within which. So, the time within which, and there's not going to be a specific Latin question word that I can give you for that. By the way, your first writing utensil is a stylus. S-T-Y-L-U-S, a stylus, trying to keep this video short. The time within which. So, the Cornelians leave from the country house, ablative place from, where unde, and they arrive in 3 days. And that tells you the time in which the action is going to occur. The third usage of the ablative is going to be what we call the ablative of accompaniment. This is a word in the ablative that tells you with whom or with what does the subject commit an action. And the questions that it is going to be asking, or answering I should say, would either be quocum, asking with whom, with what singular person do you commit the action, or you can have the plurality of that, is cum. Now, an ablative of accompaniment is always going to have the preposition that means with. And from the prepositions unit, chapter 9, we should know that that ablative, that preposition that requires an ablative is, of course, cum, with. So, in chapter 12, Dawes is looking for Geta, and he does so cum canibus, with the dogs. Canibus is in the ablative, and the reason why it's in the ablative is because it is showing the accompaniment, the noun in the ablative that gives you the information about the action with whom does it occur. The fourth use of the ablative is going to be the ablative of means. Means is something that gives you an ability. So if you say, well, I'll be coming to school, hopefully when we return in person, I say, by what means do you come to school? It could be by bus. Do you see by, with, because of, from, and on, at? By car. It could be by feet, as it were. But this is your ablative. That is what we call the ablative of means. And the ablative of means will be answering the question, quo modo. Quo modo literally asks, in what or by what method? Essentially, how? How do you come to school? Quo modo? By means car, by means bus, and so forth and so on. How will the Cornelians get to Rome? Raida, with a long A. By minivan. Could you also say in a minivan? Sure. But it's giving you the means. The means is the ability. Now, a subcategory of means, and I really should call it the 4A, but I'll go ahead and give it its own, is your ablative of instrument. Essentially, it's kind of like squares and rectangles. Every single square is a rectangle. Every square meets all requirements to be considered a rectangle, but not all rectangles can be considered squares. It is likewise that every single time you have an ablative of instrument, it will be an ablative of means. But it is specific in that the ablative instrument is going to be literally an instrument. And it's asking or answering the question, quo instrumento. With what instrument? With what instrument do I write on my board? I write on my board stilo. That word we had that was our first writing utensil. Stilo, with a stylus. If you can hold it in your hand, if you can wield it, it can be considered an instrument. In what way, or quo modo, quo instrumento, with what instrument does Dawes beat Geta? Bakulo in the ablative. With a stick. Now, is that also a means? Is that stick giving him the ability to beat? Of course it is. And your second writing utensil is a crayon. C-R-A-Y-O-N, crayon. That could be the instrument. With a crayon. Do you paint instead of, obviously, or color, instead of, let's say, paints or marker? So, quo instrumento, really, it's kind of a subcategory of means, because both means and instrument gives you the ability. Now, the sixth use of the ablative is also going to be giving you the answer to quo modo, how or in what way. But this is what we call the ablative of manner. The ablative of manner. The manner is the abstract quality. So not concrete. A marker is concrete. Love as an emotion is an abstract quality. And so abstract means not being able to hold it in your hands. More so an idea. Now how nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. That is your ablative of manner. The abstract quality with which an action is done. So for example, how do you graduate? Magna cum laude. Laude is ablative for the word praise. And magna, which modifies it, with great praise. You can't hold praise in your hand, but it is the manner with which you do it. Now, you don't have to have it, but very often for your ablative of manner, you will also have the word cum. So think about that. Ablative of accompaniment, with. Ablative of instrument, with. He beats Geta with a stick. Ablative of manner, he beats geta ira, with anger. But you have to understand in English, when we say with for all three, in what way it's being applied. Because when you say you beat him with a stick, that is not your ablative of accompaniment. It's not like the stick is doing it with you. Let's go stick and beat old geta. No. The accompaniment with will have a cum. The manner with will have a cum, but it's different, obviously. When I say he beats him with anger, it's not like anger as a person doing it with him, but it is the manner, the abstract quality. And the seventh and final usage of the ablative is the ablative of cause. And obviously, that ablative of cause gives you the cause for something. And so here, it would be answering the question, qua, oh, misspelled it, causa. By what cause? By what reason? Or in what cause or in what reason? If I say that I am tired, I could be tired, labore, because of the work that I've been doing. By the work, from the work I've been doing, I am tired. And that is your ablative of cause. Your third and final is pencil. As simple as that. P-E-N-C-I-L, pencil. And these are your ablative usages, answering the question where, from where unde, when, quando, quocum, quibuscum, with whom, quo modo, how, or in what manner, quo instrumento, with what instrument, and again quo modo, how, in what manner, and qua causa, by what cause. Thanks for watching.